Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time it's going to be Doom 2nd Edition, the new version from Fantasy Flight Games. I've done a playthrough on my channel of the first version, the first scenario. This is the first scenario in the operations guide under Operation Black Bishop, and what is it called? Knee Deep in the Dead. So I've set everything up according to how it should be set up. And we're going to take a look here. It's called Sample Collection, is our sort of objective card. Infestation is also part of the setup deal. And we're going to take a look at our solo Marine. I'm going to do this just one Marine. And so we're going to take a look at the Infestation and Sample Collection, which will kind of lay out what's supposed to take place in the mission. And then we'll zoom down on our Marine, take a look at his cards. We'll zoom down. Well, we're not going to be looking too much at the Doom player, the one who's going to be playing the monsters. Basically a two-player game, or 2 to 5, because you can play up to 4 Marines. So I'm going to keep the information for the Demon player kind of secret. We'll see that as we play, but we will be looking at, of course, the Revenant and the Imp, because they've already spawned onto the board. So we're going to take a look now at Infestation, Sample Collection, and see what it's all about. Okay, so I hope we can read this here on the camera, zoomed in quite a bit. So we'll take a look at Infestation, the card on the left first. The setup says the invader summons from each face-up portal token. So I've already done that, and we'll take a look at that here once we finish looking at these cards. And it says when a Marine opens a door, each portal token that the Marine can trace continuous path of adjacent spaces to, i.e. each portal token that is not separated from the Marine by blocking terrain, walls, or doors is flipped face up. Then the invader summons from each face-up portal. At the end of the Marine's activation, shuffle one invader initiative card into the remaining initiative deck for each demon type that was summoned and was not already on the map. Demons cannot open doors if there are any portals on the map. So that's sort of the lays out the setup for this scenario called Knee Deep in the Dead. And we're trying to do Sample Collection as the Marine player. Marines gain all objective tokens. There are 3 on the board, and we need to collect them. And the Invader needs to gain 6 frag tokens. We get frags by knocking out the Marine. So the Demon player has to knock out a Marine 6 times before we collect the 3 sample tokens. If they do that, they win the game. If the Marine can get the 3 sample tokens, they will win the game. Alright, Invader. It says after the Invader summons demons from a portal with an objective token, he assigns the token to one of those demons. That demon is a priority target and cannot be glory killed. It's one of the advanced rules in the game, and I'm not going to go over the rules per se. We'll see them in action as we play. It says when a figure with an objective token is fragged, place the token in its space. A Marine may gain that token by moving into that space. And it says end of round. Place one of those tokens on the demon card corresponding to each priority target. And I can't remember the name of those tokens, but they do look like this. And they are used to activate special abilities of the demons. So we will see that, of course, in action as well. Alright, so I'm going to now take a look at our Marine and his cards. Then we'll take a look at the board setup and probably take the first turn to try and see if I can play this game without making a lot of errors. At least I hope I won't. So let's take a look at our Marine and see what kind of equipment he's got, kind of special abilities, skills, hit points, that kind of thing. Alright, so we have our lone Marine here, just called Alpha. There are 4 different sculpts for the Marines in the game. I won't show you them all, but they are different, which is kind of neat. And they do correspond to the actual graphic on the Marine card, which is also kind of cool. With solo play, we are going to have +1 hand size. So instead of having 3 cards, we're going to have 4. And we get +5 health. So instead of having 10 health, we're going to have 15. That's the solo operative. And if you're playing a solo Marine, you get the solo operative card. And it says 1 Marine. The initiative deck must include 1 additional Marine initiative card. You activate each time a Marine initiative card is revealed. So we're basically going to get to activate twice in an entire round. We've already said the +1 hand size, +5 health. And during your activation, you can perform 2 main actions if you do not perform the sprint action. The sprint action means you can discard 1 card from your hand to gain 6 movement points. So you can do 2 main actions if you don't sprint. And the random card I chose for our Marine is Combat Engineer. As a small action, exhaust this card and discard 1 action card to draw 2 action cards. And so you can do, as solo, you can do 2 main actions on your turn if you don't sprint, and you can do as many of the small actions as you want, as you have cards. And so let's take a look at his cards. He has 4 cards. So he basically has the, I believe it's a plasma rifle, and he has the shotgun. And so each of the weapons comes with 3 cards, and you start with 4 basic cards. So his hand right now is 4 cards. So he has a quick shot pistol, and it has a range of 4. We'll roll 2 red dice. We'll see this as it happens. He has armor, which has a reaction ability on it. If you're being attacked, you can play this card, gives you 3 armor. He has up close and personal. This is a full action card. And charge, which is a small action card. I'm calling it the wrong thing. I apologize. I will look them up again here and make sure I get them right. And when we start playing the actual game, and the cards basically tell you what you need to do. They tell you how much speed you have, what dice you roll for attacks, and so on. So cards are kind of self-explanatory. So those are the 4 cards for a Marine. Now let's take a look over here at the board setup, the initial setup. And then we're going to take a look at the demons that are on the board. We'll look at their cards and their abilities and such. And then I think we're just going to flip over our initiative deck, which is variable turn order. So we've shuffled in 2 Marine cards to represent us. And there are 2 different demon types on the board at the moment. So there's 2 invader activation cards. So let's take a look at the board a little closer and see what we've got. All right, so the current situation we have is, of course, we had an open portal here, a yellow one and a blue one. There's a spawn card for the demon player, and it tells you which one to use in the opening scenario, and we are using it. But as the Marine player, you're not really supposed to know what's happening. So this, oh, glare, God almighty. So we've got here mission Knee Deep in the Dead. Basically, there's a warning: containment breach detected at the Lazarus facility on Phobos. A UAC fire team has been dispatched to recover experimental assets with minimal collateral damage. That's us. The objective, of course, is a sample collection, which we've already looked at. The threat was infestation. And it says suggested invader cards, tells you which decks to use. And the mission invasion card is the Imp Assault. And that tells you what you can spawn on the different colored spawn points. Again, not going to go into a ton of detail. But basically, they've spawned 2 imps on the blue spot. They've spawned a Revenant who took the objective token, and 2 imps on the yellow spawn point. The other spawn points off the board behind the doors are inactive at the moment. When the doors open, they will become active, and then the demon player will be spawning more units. So here we are on our spawn point. Now we could start on it or adjacent to it. I just decided to put our lone Marine on the spawn point for the Marines, portal points, and so there we have it. So let's take a quick look at the cards for the Revenant and for the Imp and see what they have going on. So here we are with the Imp card and the Revenant card. These are the demon cards that have spawned already. These are Argent Power tokens, they're called. They're used to trigger special abilities on demon units. And so let's just take a look quickly at them. So the Imp has a speed of 4, a range of 4 when he attacks, rolls 2 red dice. He has a health of 3, and this little red number here, if he has that many wounds or more without dying, he can be glory killed by our Marine. And we'll worry about those rules when they happen. So he has hit and run. After you perform an attack, gain 2 movement points. So again, it's kind of a little bookkeeping thing. You got to kind of keep track of how many movement points you have, because you can move and then do an attack and then move again. That you don't, you have the ability to break up your movement, so it's a good idea to keep a track of it. Now, if we use one of these Urgent Power tokens, we can use to charged fireballs. Before performing an attack, add 2 range and 1 red die to the attack. So we could make it a 6 range with 3 red dice attack. That is pretty brutal by using these power tokens. The reason they're here is because the spawn card, which are these cards here, the one that is titled Imp Assault, has special rules when spawning. And so when we spawn them, we add tokens to the different units that were spawned. So let's take a look at the Revenant. He has a speed of 5. He's a little quicker. He's a range of 6, which is really good. He has 2 red black die for attacking, 8 health. If he has to have 6 or more damage on him before we could try to glory kill him. Oh, and I should mention this little icons at the bottom here. When you flip over for defense, if you get that special symbol, it means this. So but again, we'll get into the rules when and if they come up. So he has flying. It says, while moving, you may ignore terrain and figures. So he just ignores terrain and figures, goes right over top of it. Assault, during your activation, you can perform 1 additional attack. Wow. So this guy can attack twice. That is deadly. And he has homing rockets if he uses a Argent power token. Before rolling any dice for an attack, look at the top 3 cards of the defender's deck, place 1 of these cards on top, discard the rest. So you can basically make it so that the Marine has no hope of getting a very good defensive against your attack. All right, with all of that said, I think we're going to do kind of 1 turn here, and then I'm going to leave the episode off here because I think it's probably gone on quite long enough. And like I said, we're not going to look at the demons cards. They are allowed to have a hand of 6 cards with special abilities and power-ups and all kinds of things that we're not going to see until they hit us with it. All right, so this is our initiative deck. I've shuffled it up, so I don't know. There's going to be 2 invader cards in here and 2 marine cards in here, so we don't know who is going to activate first. So let's find that out right now. So we're going to flip over the top card, and it's going to be an invader. And so the demon player has a choice. They can activate all of their imps, or they can activate all of their revenants, one or the other. I have a feeling they're going to activate all of their imps. So with that said, we're going to go back to the main board, and the demon player is up first, and they will either activate the revenant or all of their imps. All right, so I'm already doing things out of sequence because I'm going to be playing a card for the demon player, which should have been played before the first initiative card is flipped. They would have played it. It only makes sense. And they are going to play this, which is play this card at the start of the activation phase. I believe the start of the activation phase, maybe it is right now, as soon as we flip over the first initiative card. But in any case, we're going to play this immediately. It says the stagger value of all demons is increased by 1. That's the little red number. So the stagger number now for imps is going to be 2 before you can glory kill them. And for the revenant, it's 7 of 8 hit points of damage before you can glory kill them. And discard this card at the end of the round. So this is going to be active for the entire round. So I'm just going to leave it out here. Try to remember it, because there's going to be all kinds of compounding rules and things happening as we play, because cards are going to have different effects and tokens and all kinds of things to keep track of, which I will probably mess up. Anyway, they are indeed going to activate their imps. They have 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they can all activate. Now, they cannot open doors. Well, there's portals on the board, so there's 2 doors, so they're basically kind of locked in this big room right now. There's, of course, a wall across here. Can't go over to this area. Name of the game for the demon player is to frag the Marine as many times as they can. 6 will get them the win. And so, with that said, I'm going to take a little bit of a look at the board situation and the cards for the demon player and decide what we're going to do. Then we're going to come up and we're going to activate all of the 4 imps in a row, and I'm sure all 4 of them will be attacking our lone marine. Alright, so let's keep in mind that each imp has 4 speed, and so I'm going to start with this imp here, and they're going to move, and you can move through friendly units without costing extra movement. You can also move through enemy units, but it costs you 2 to move into the space of an enemy unit. And of course, you can't end your turn space with an enemy unit. Unless, of course, you're the Marine doing a glory kill, then you can move on to an enemy unit and end your turn there because you're glory killing them. So there won't be another model in your space. So this imp gets to move up to 4, keeping in mind that we don't have to use all their movement. He could move 2, save the extra 2 movement, do an attack, and then move afterwards. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3 to here, and 4 to there. And he's going to draw a line of sight from this corner to the Marine. So no problem. He has line of sight, and that corner right there to all 4 corners are not impeded by anything. Didn't pass through this dashed red line, which would be, you can see through that terrain, but you can't move through it. So this guy is now going to attack the Marine, but we have a little surprise from the demon player is going to use one of his Argent Power tokens. He's going to spend it, which is then going to activate this here, the Charged Fireball. Before performing an attack, add 2 range and 1 red die to the attack. So he's going to be rolling 3 red dice for this attack. So we use the dice tower here. 3 red dice attacking the Marine from this guy. And he ends up with 3 hits. Alright, 3 hits. Now the Marine has armor. There's the way to defend is he can flip the top card of his deck and see how many shields there are. Or he also has armor. It says when defending, you may play this card to add 2 shields, then draw an action card. So he could just play it to block 2 hits and only take 1 wound. I think he's going to do that. He's going to play it, which means he's going to block 2 hits. So instead of taking 3 damage, he'll only take 1. He's down to 14 health, which is pretty good. And then he gets to draw another card. So the Marine will then draw another card, and he draws Reposition. All right, well, that's pretty good, I guess. So that was our imp who had moved 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to here. And now the imp says hit and run. If we take a look at that, after you perform an attack, gain 2 movement points. So now this imp has 2 movement points. And with his 2 movement points, he's going to get out of the way. He's going to go 1, 2 back to here. And now we have 3 other imps ready to do what they need to do. All right, so up next will be one of the other 3 imps. I think we're just going to have this one go. He's going to just take 1 step to here. Oh, and they have a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should mention that. So by being here, they are within range. So same deal. He only moved 1 space. Means he has 3 movement left. After he attacks, he's going to get +2. So he'll have 5 movement left after he attacks. We also have another one of these Argent Power tokens. We're going to spend it again to do the Charged Fireball. Adding a red die. So once again, it's going to be a 3 red die attack on our Marine. And this time, ouch, that is 5 hits against our Marine. He doesn't have his armor anymore, so how he defends is he flips over the top card of his deck, and there is nothing here. So he's going to take 5 hit points of damage. He goes down to 9 health. Wow, that was a nasty, nasty attack. And now this imp has 5 speed. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and end his movement on this little portal point. He wants to get out of the way so all the other imps can have their turn. Now we have 2 more imps to go. This one's going to go 1, 2. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to attack the Marine. But this time, what we're going to play is another card. For the demon player, Demonic Precision. Play this card while the demon is attacking. Reroll any number of dice. So we're going to play that, which means our demon player can reroll any number of dice. So that's pretty nasty. Now he does only get 2 red dice because that's his attack. So 2 red dice, but he gets to reroll them if they don't do well. So 2 attack, 1. He's going to reroll this one. He ends up getting 3 hits. Once again, our Marine is going to pull a defense card and see if he can block any of that. He blocks 2 of the 3, which means he's only going to take 1 damage from 9 health down to 8. So you can see how quick the battles go here. And so this demon now has 5 more movement. And so, or does he? Where did he start from? Right here, 1, 2. Oh God, see now I'm losing track. I think... Did he start from here or from here? think he only moved one, so he's going to go 1, 2. I think he's just going to go back to this corner. I'm pretty sure he has enough movement to get there. I've got to keep better track of it, or I'm going to get screwed up. All right, we have one imp left. He has a movement speed of 4, unless, of course, the demon player has other cards, which he can use to make him move faster, but he doesn't. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is not going to give this guy enough range to hit the Marine. So I probably should have saved that Argent power up for him, so that was kind of dumb, but anyway, it is what it is. So this imp only has movement of 4 and can't really attack the Marine. This is totally blocking terrain, he can't see through it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he might just go 1, 2, 3, 4 and kind of hide behind this blocking terrain. Anyway, all right, that is basically going to conclude our imp's turn. I'm going to tap his card or exhaust it, however you want to call it. So the next time the invader card comes up in initiative order, it will be the Revenant. All the imps have now gone. The likelihood of the Marine coming up next will be very good because there's 2 initiative cards left. So we may just, well, we'll leave it for the next episode. I think we're going to leave it there. We'll worry about the initiative card at the beginning of the next episode. So this is Doom, the new version, and we're doing Mission 1, Knee Deep in the Dead, with a solitary Marine versus the demon player who is trying to frag him 6 times to win. We're down to 8 health, which actually is not as bad as I thought. Considering 3 demons or 3 imps attacked us in a row, so that was pretty nasty, but we're probably going to get to go pretty soon. Now, keeping in mind, we need to get those 3 objective tokens, or 3 samples. One of them is on this Revenant. We need to try and take him out, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Let's take a quick look at his cards. We have Reposition, which gives you 3 speed, and we have Quick Shot, which means you can just take a shot with your pistol. Draw an action card, and 2 speed, so that's for charge, up close and personal. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we've got a pretty good hand of 4 cards for their next turn. And the thing I can't recall now is at the end of the invader's turn, does he draw up to 6 cards? Because he has 4 now. He's played 2 of them. And I'm going to have to take a look at the rules and refresh my memory on that. I'm not sure if they do. Demon activation. The invader exhausts a demon card, activates on a time during a demon's activation, it gains movement points. Da, da, da. So that's all it says on the quick reference, which is not going to give me enough information. So I'll have to look that up for next time. So thanks so much for watching along. This is Doom, the new version. And we're playing a solitaire Marine against the Horde knee deep in the dead. So thanks so much for your comments, your subscriptions, your likes. Really appreciate it. Join me next time for the continuation of Knee Deep in the Dead.